Star Wars theory has recently come under fire from pretty much everybody. The amount of tweets that were about Star Wars theory actually got theory trending on Twitter.
I mean, I'm telling you, there's no way they're not going to. It's gotta be Maul. Dude, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's gonna be Maul or something. What? That's what the dark magic is?
Now, unlike my last two Star Wars theory videos, this isn't actually about the Star Wars content itself. It isn't Star Wars being ignorant or arrogant towards directors, Star Wars itself, or just even the ideas within Star Wars. Now, this controversy for theory actually started over his use of AI deepfake in his Vader fan film. More importantly, this time he wanted to do it with Luke Skywalker and wanted to do an AI deepfake. A Twitter user atted Mark Hamills asking, did he ask for permission to use your face, which Mark Hamills responded no, which opened the floodgates for theory criticism. Now, originally all theory could have done really here is, apologize and move on, but theory didn't do that. No, he made a very, very bad response video. I mean, look at that thumbnail, clearly not taking the issue seriously. AI and deepfake, as of recently, has been in the public consciousness more and more, even actors across Hollywood striking because of it. Here, it comes off as theory doesn't really care, which I know and a lot of other people know isn't exactly the truth.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, don't you get that there is a bit of an issue here? Like, come on.
No, and of course everyone's using this to, just dog on me like crazy. Oh, like this guy. He's got the biggest boner for me ever in the world. Before we get into, let me preface this and say, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So.
I mean, I don't think the majority of people at that point in time really wanted you to go anywhere. I think people just wanted you to address it and why you maybe didn't reach out. I think that's it. I don't get why you have to make this whole consensus that people just want you gone and they just hate you. No, they just find that your action here was a bit stupid. But this is Star Wars theory we're talking about, not any ordinary creator.
I'm not gonna stop. I will continue to make the best Star Wars content that I want to see forever. And if that bothers some people, well, so be it, Jedi. But look, I've been around for almost 8 years on YouTube. I have the largest Star Wars channel on the face of the planet. And I say that not with ego, I say that thanks to you guys, because you guys are the ones that made it happen. I can't subscribe to myself that many times. Believe me, I would if I could. I'm sure everyone else would too. But look, I'm out here trying to create something that I think is akin to George Lucas Star Wars simply because we're not getting it. Like, they're not understanding what Star Wars is. And they've taken Star Wars and they've created some sort of perversion around it, or for it, and completely sidelined what George had in mind, sidelined what he created in the first place. And to me, that's not the true part of Star Wars. And so I'm putting my money into something that will not give me any return. It's not monetized, it's not crowdfunded, it has no ads. There's no money I'm making from this. It's literally just a labor of love.
No, this is a part a lot of people have highlighted, saying he's quite egotistical, right? It does come off as, look, I'm the guy that can create the vision of Star Wars that was always intended. I feel like this is a great clip that highlights the ignorance and arrogance that I've spoke about in my last two videos on Star Wars theory. But also, you're not going to create that vision, right? You're not Disney or Lucasfilm, right? It's a fan film. It might be a good fan film, but it's a fan film.
When I was a kid, in the 90s and 2000s, we're not talking about these new age Star Wars fans that Disney has amassed. It wasn't really all that cool to be talking about Star Wars all the time. It was more of like a hush-hush secret thing, but only amongst your friends and nerds and geeks, real geeks. Like now you have like EGirls being like, I'm such a nerd, I'm such a geek. It's like, no, you're an opportunist.
I mean, how is that even relevant to the conversation? According to the definitely very, very, very trustworthy famous birthdays, there he is in his 30s. Meaning he was a child when the prequel films came out. The biggest films of that era. I mean, I don't get what you mean by real fans. People were talking about these films constantly.
It wasn't really all that cool to be talking about Star Wars all the time. It was more of like a hush-hush secret thing, but only amongst your friends and nerds and geeks, real geeks. Like now
also, theory, what was that comment you made at the end of that sentence?
Like now you have like e-girls being like, I'm such a nerd, I'm such a geek. It's like, no, you're an opportunist.
When you say e-girl, it doesn't mean you're speaking about OnlyFans girls. You're speaking about Gen Z girls, right? Gen Z people who might be acclimated to TikTok and other platforms like that. Look, I'm not going to look into it as much as some other creators have, calling him a misogynist and that he doesn't like female fans. But I mean, you're still incorrect. Because after this dropped and you got called out massively, you ran to Twitter to confirm that you meant OnlyFans girls. But that isn't just the definition of e-girls. And as well, in that tweet, you're lying. You didn't say OnlyFans, you just said e-girls. Look, I'll be generous and say that he didn't just mean e-girls, right? People that are on the internet and they're girls. I'm gonna take it and suggest that he didn't mean that, right? But maybe, if you did genuinely mean OnlyFans EGirls, you should have made that a little bit clearer. Because that's not what you said in your video. Speaking of Theory's Twitter, it's an absolute shit show right now. Bearing in mind, Mark Hamills said he didn't hate Theory at all. He got asked the question again, he said no. But Theory is still spurging out all over his Twitter and being an egotist. Responding to people, swearing and doing loads of other shit. I mean, I just find it kind of unnecessary. I don't know why you couldn't have just responded properly in one video. If you actually understood what you were saying and you checked a lot of things you were saying, then you wouldn't have a lot of backlash right now, right? A lot of this backlash sparked because of your female girl comment. And the reason people got angry with this comment as well isn't just because he actually made this comment, it's the fact that he's a known Andrew Tate supporter. So people just put two and two together and ran with it. Then as well, this clip also resurfaced, so people ran with this as well.
Unconditional love real? Yes, it is. I think women receive unconditional love. I think men receive conditional love. I don't think really there are too many women. There are some. I don't think there are too many women out there that will appreciate or love a man unconditionally, right? But men will unconditionally love women and children because we don't want anything from them. We just want peace of mind. We want love. We want loyalty, respect, communication. That's it. And sex. You know, a home, a partner, someone that you can confide in. But I think for many women, it's I think it's very conditional for them. What can the man give me? What can he provide? What is he doing? If he's not doing this, well, I'm gonna go on to fucking Steve or Greg or Tommy or whoever, right?
I mean, like, what? You're not Andrew Tate, you're not a public speaker, you're a Star Wars content creator who has garnered a Star Wars audience who just want to hear you talk about Star Wars, hear about your opinions on Star Wars, and hear about your infatuation and love for Star Wars. They don't care about your opinions on stuff like this. Yet again, a shining example of who Star Wars Theory is. I'm glad people are starting to wake up to what he's actually like. I mean, largely for the rest of his response video, it was just a response to what people were saying and Mark Hamill and sort of an apology. But this bit, I love this bit. This bit really caught me off guard.
A community that discussed Star Wars. But now I feel like what Disney has done is they created this version of Star Wars that's become very political. And if you don't like the sequel trilogy, then you fall on one side of the political spectrum. And if you do, then you're on the other side. And that can go for shows as well. It never was like that. It was like, oh, you just don't like the originals, or you don't like the prequels, or whatever it might be, Legends or whatever. But nowadays it's completely different. And so it riles up a lot of these political freaks online who will try and do anything they can to bring you down because they think you fall in some sort of political spectrum, because to them in the US, politics is end all be all. I'm just a Star Wars fan. My political beliefs are my political beliefs, and I don't think that has any sort of business to do with you.
You know, this would be something that it's incredibly well said from Star Wars Theory, right? I couldn't agree more. If he did do the exact same fucking thing! In this video, I'm not here to paint Star Wars Theory as a misogynist or anything like that, because I don't believe he's a misogynist. I think he's somebody who just struggles to convey his views quite often, and it just gets muddled up within amongst his Star Wars content. And look, I've seen a bunch of support for women on his page, right? He's definitely not a woman hater. As far as I know, at the time of recording of December 31st. But it's not like Theory isn't self-aware, and I just feel like he needs to tone a lot of things down. His response is down, how he reacts to a lot of hate. I don't know, he just gets himself into more and more issues.